All right, guys, it is a Tuesday morning, and we are live from the East Brunswick Library, and that means it is another episode of the Buzz About East Brunswick. I'm Greg T. This is Mayor Cohen. How you doing?
I'm good.
Fist bump. I love it. All right, you want to get in touch with us, you can always email us at baeb@buzzabouteb.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, well, hello, everybody on YouTube. We're on YouTube at EBTV26. And if you're listening to us just on the regular podcast platforms, well, hello to everybody on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, and Amazon. Man, we're everywhere.
We are.
And the numbers are showing it. You know, I got to tell you, last week I took a glance at some of the numbers, and I was very nervous. I swallowed hard, and I'm like, man, if the numbers are not good, I don't want to face the mayor and tell him not. But I tell you, the numbers really are showing that people are catching on. They're listening to us. They're watching it, and we're headed in the right direction. And I mean that sincerely.
No, I like to hear that. I think it's an easier way of getting news without making it boring,
right?
And lecture style, right?
No, hey, none of us have done that, and no, the show is really going really well, and people really do like it. But we could really use some more emails, so please take a chance. Email us. We really do read your email, and if it's something that's striking, you know what? The mayor and I will read it right here on the podcast. Again, email us at baeb@buzzabouteb.com, and we might read your email next week. How was your weekend?
That was excellent. How was yours?
As you can tell, my voice is shot. So I did a lot of partying, a lot of hanging out with friends and relatives. And even though the weather did not cooperate exactly how we wanted.
Saturday was not great, but the other two were perfect.
Yeah, right. We made the best of it. So Saturday I had it on out. I did a little golfing, or at least I always tell my friends I do what I think is golf. Like I've seen it on TV before, you know. I do enjoy golf. I'm not great at it, but I did have a nice round. And then we went to a barbecue after that. That's what started like the domino effect of all of the barbecues. Now, did you have a lot of barbecues over the weekend?
Yeah, we had a bunch of barbecues, which was fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. A lot of food.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's always fun, but they come now it's like Tuesday and you're bloated from all the salt intake.
Part of it is I just go to Costco and buy everything. Yeah. And then you think, do we really have enough food? So you go back and do a second round and get more stuff, which at the end of the day, you end up having this massive amount of food left over. So
I agree. It's easier to go to somebody's house and then, let them keep it than take it. I think we were talking about that before the show today.
Right.
And some of my friends were like, here, we have leftovers, take. But you're like, no, because you know that you're going to be hosting your own barbecue. Like if you go to my refrigerator right now, half the refrigerator has got leftovers, and then half the refrigerator is what we wanted to have this week. But I don't even think we're going to get to that food this week.
I started out with leftovers. I had food for the end of the week. We had stuff on Friday, had that leftovers, so everything's sort of half-eaten. So we slowly go through it during the week, but at some point, I know what's going to happen. We're just going to throw it out.
It goes in the garbage
and wasteful.
Right, you're right. Are you a hot dog guy, or are you a hamburger guy? Or if you're a hamburger guy, are you more like a chicken burger guy?
No, actually, I prefer hamburgers. My wife prefers the hot dogs, so we just we have both.
Yeah.
And but we'll also have the shrimp and the
macaroni salads.
And it's often what they have on sale or some sort of big thing over at Costco or at the supermarket.
Yeah,
so it could be steaks, it could be certain types of fish that we want, and we want people who have different food allergies,
right,
or food restrictions.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not a short order cook.
No, right.
But
do you do all the grilling?
We all type of share it, but I like doing it.
Are you gas grill or you charcoal?
Gas.
Gas, me too. Oh, my buddy though, he's got that. I don't ever
want to take a chance that it's not going to work, right?
Yeah,
because if I had, I'd have to be maintaining the coals. I don't want to do that.
Well, that's what he has. So he has the green egg.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is really cool. So that and tell you, it brings off really good flavor. Like I had a burger at his house off that, and I was like, wow, you get that extra barbecue flavor in there, you know?
Yeah.
But I too, I'm a gas guy. I got my Weber grill, and I'm always out there grilling. So yeah, I grilled yesterday.
Do you grill in the winter?
Oh my God, we do. My wife wife makes me get out there and grill, but it gets so cold sometimes. So I did buy a grill for inside the house. So it's like an indoor, sits on top of your counter, like that kind of a grill.
We have the grill set up.
Yeah.
And it could be the winter, it could be a
you're out there?
monsoon. I'm sitting there with the umbrella going out there.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've done the holding the umbrella under one arm as I'm like trying to flip the burgers. I've done that, been there, done that.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, yeah. But what a weekend. What else did you do? Anything else?
Well, we had a bunch of things for the township. So we always do a Memorial Day
How was
service here. It was very nice. I'd like to see more people come.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think people forget that the holiday really is about those that gave for our country.
Right.
And to take a little bit of time from your weekend and come out and celebrate the people who paid dearly for us to have this day.
Right, for us to go out and eat like a bunch
like a pig.
Yes. Right, we're like, Happy Memorial Day. Oh, yeah, there's a real reason why we actually celebrate Memorial Day. That's right.
Exactly.
You know, I was listening to the radio over the weekend. I heard that Memorial Day at one point was called Decoration Day. And what that meant was people would go to the cemetery for all the fallen soldiers and they would decorate the tombstones. And then I don't know whereabouts.
That was actually among slaves when they were freed.
Really?
From slavery.
Okay.
One of the things that they were known to do was to dress the gravestones of people who had passed during the Civil War.
I did not know that. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know where it changed and became Memorial Day or how it became Memorial Day, but I thought it was very interesting to hear how they used to call it Decoration Day. I was like, oh wow, it makes sense. I get
That's
it.
where it came from.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. And then also Crystal Springs opened for the weekend.
Yes.
So
but we had a couple of days we delayed
Right.
because the weather wasn't going to be great, and we didn't really feel like bringing people in for what probably wouldn't have been a great start. But but yesterday was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. If you were going to go out, and Crystal Springs was open yesterday, so that was even great to get the bonus day for Memorial Day. And yeah, the weather was great yesterday, really, really nice. But yeah, man, what a bummer Saturday and Sunday. My family, we had nothing better to do, so I have two sisters, so they got together and they dragged my parents over to Dave & Buster's in Freehold. They just opened up a new Dave & Buster's, so we went, and you know what? I tell you, the kids had a good time because they were running around playing some video games, whatever. My mother was a little bit like nervous with all the sounds, and it was dark, and there was there was lasers being shot all over the place. So I said to my sisters, I'm like, look, it seemed like it might have been a good idea. Next year we should rethink it if it's a rain out or if there's a reason why we can't have like a real barbecue. Right. I don't know if Dave & Buster's is really the perfect place for us, but nonetheless, we still all had a good time and we were all together, and that's what
was nice. And plus Sunday was my son's birthday, so
nice.
we actually celebrated. Well, it was great.
Yeah,
I mean. He's believed from the day he was born that the entire country is celebrating his birthday. So
yeah, that's right. That's right. Everybody's out there celebrating. If you have a birthday on 4th of July, that's got to be one of the best birthdays to have as well, because you figure you can have your birthday and then you have fireworks galore and everything's great.
Well, actually, all of us. My daughter was born on Father's Day, so Father's Day sort of moved to the side for a bunch of years when she was young because it was always her birthday, and mine's always around Thanksgiving. So everybody's often at the house for Thanksgiving, which makes it, you think it's for my birthday, but it's really Thanksgiving. And remember growing up all my life, people would say, oh, we're not going to come out for your birthday. We'll be out for Thanksgiving anyway. So we'll all get together, which was true, And my wife, hers often falls on Passover, which is no honor because the cakes are god awful.
It's never good. It's never good. It never, all the bad ingredients that, you can't put stuff into it. Yeah.
Well, people come over and they'll say, oh, for a Passover cake, this is really great. And you eat it, like, okay, it's just better than horrible, but it's not great.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Unfortunately, I totally get it. My birthday's in June, so we're good. It's just another barbecue, and it's always around Father's Day. So we try to combine both.
What's your
Father's
birthday?
Day, June 13th, that's the Friday the 13th, and then Sunday happens to be Father's Day. So it's perfect. It rolls right into it. Not bad. Yeah. So anyway, that'll be another big weekend to look forward to. Are you excited for today's episode?
Today?
Yeah, are you
Yes.
excited for today?
Yes.
Because this is one of the episodes that you've been talking about for a long time. You've wanted to meet the guy that has the biggest Halloween decoration display here in East Brunswick.
Exactly. Drive by it all the time on Milltown Road.
Right. And we finally were able to make it happen. Can we tell the audience again how today really came about? Because it was because of you that we're going to interview this person today.
Well, I thought that, first of all, it'd be kind of interesting to interview people in the town who just do things that are a little different that a lot of people are curious about.
Right.
And while I love to, talk to the people that work for the town, we have a great staff of people and we're doing some wonderful things for the town. And we do try to highlight that.
Right.
But on the show, people that wouldn't have, come out of the woodwork unless we asked them.
Right.
So that's exactly what I did. Knock on the door and asked, and so Frank will be here for the next segment.
I think it's so great. I mean, guys, think about this. You're at home, minding your own business, and out of nowhere, Mayor Cohen just shows up at your front door. The doorbell rings, and there he is. I think it's
could
amazing.
Imagine they probably think, "What did I do wrong?
Well,
Is it giving me a citation?"
That is the first thing I want to ask him. What was going through your mind when Mayor Cohen shows up at your door? Like, I have to get that feeling. I would imagine that, if the mayor shows up at your house, you immediately think, uh-oh, who did what? Because it has now escalated past the police now to the mayor is showing up. I can only imagine what his first thoughts were.
That must be pretty bad.
I would imagine. But I think, you know what? We built it up, and that was one of the first things that you did want to do. You wanted to see who out there is doing something different that we could spotlight here in East Brunswick. And I think it'll be really nice to have our first real guest. Not that last week wasn't a real guest. We had John on
Don't tell John he's not a real guest.
Right, from Crystal Springs. But this is our real deal first guest that we're having on the show.
Exactly.
So listen, I'm excited as well. All right, let's get things started. Enough about Mayor Cohen and myself. Let's get to our first guest. So we're going to take a quick break. This is a little piece of what's going on in and around East Brunswick. And when we get back, we will meet the man, the myth, the legend that everybody talks about every single Halloween here in East Brunswick. The man that owns the biggest Halloween display here in East Brunswick will be with us after this. The East Brunswick Parks and Recreation is now open for registration for this year's spring and summer camps. Head over to whatever app store that you use to download your favorite apps. Search East Brunswick Recreation. The new Parks and Rec app will pop up and then you download. Soon as it's finished, you'll be greeted by the EB Bear. Just click on Day Camp and there you go. The new registration page will just pop right up. Click registration and you're in. It's all inside the new EB Parks and Rec app. Have a great summer, everybody. Hey, East Brunswick, have you registered your home alarm? You're supposed to register the alarm. Just go to eastbrunswick.org, scroll over to Public Safety, and then back onto Resources. When you're on the Resources page, just scroll back over to the left side there and click on Alarm Registration. Here you'll find a lot of ins and outs about your home alarm system and how it relates to the East Brunswick Police Department. Scroll down to the bottom and click to register. Once you go to the Register Online page, just put in your account number, then your password, click on Submit, and you're all done. You've registered now.
Is that the one from the police department?
Yes. Everyone needs to register their home alarm system. All right, guys, and we are back. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. If you're listening to us on your podcast sites, well, hello to you guys on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, or Amazon. And again, if you're watching us on YouTube, well, hello to you at YouTube at EBTV26. Always drop us an email, BAEB@buzzabouteb.com. All right, I'm Greg T. Mayor Cohen, are you ready?
We're ready.
Take it away. Let's do the grand introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. It is not Halloween until this guy puts out his decorations. Mayor Cohen, take it away.
Absolutely. And for years, as I drive on Milltown Road and I see this beautiful display of Halloween decorations get bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and I start to see the cars making that little divot towards your house. I said, I gotta figure out what's going on here. And then I got out a couple of times and walked around, which is really kind of cool because you got it set up so well, Frank. And so I said, when we put this buzz together, this buzz about East Brunswick, I said, I gotta get that guy on here. So that's when I said, all right, well, should we write? Should we, how are we going to do that? And I said, screw that. I'm just going to go over and knock on the door. Knocked on your door.
And that he did.
I can't believe it. So I'll tell you, right behind the scenes, the mayor had mentioned it, like, hey, can we get this guy's attention? Hey, can he come over and do the podcast? And I know we were all thinking, like, how do we go? We're like, I don't know him. Do you know him? So I think we waited too long, and the mayor just took it upon himself, and he walks right up. So Frank, welcome to the Buzz About EB.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And I guess we have to start with the lead-on question here is, so you're sitting there minding your own business. All of a sudden, somebody knocks the door, and Mayor Cohen is there. What goes through your mind?
So it was around 7:30. I just got home from my second job, and I'm literally eating dinner like on a dinner tray, like a tray in front of the TV. Doorbell rings. I'm like, who's not bothering me, but who's knocking out the door at 7:30? I open the door. Mayor Cohen. And he said to me, Mayor Cohen, I'm like, I know who you are. I said, is everything okay? The first thing that hit me, and I know it's going to sound like a strange story, but I had this big flipping tire, these athletes that flip these tires. So I had it on like Marketplace or something like that, and nobody was buying it. So I said, I'm just going to put it out there because people put stuff out in the curb. And I live on a main road, but off a side street. So I put the tire up there, and that's the first thing that hit me. I said, he's driving by, and he's seen his tire like in the middle of the road. And then he said...
So you thought you were in trouble.
I thought I was in trouble, yeah.
And then it went right past the police to the mayor, and then it got to the mayor's office, and now the mayor is coming to tell you, get rid of this tire.
Actually, had I known the tire was there, I probably would have actually done some of the flipping.
See? How about that? The mayor would have gotten involved in that.
So I invited him in, and not that the house was a mess, but, when the mayor walks in, you kind of want to so I was like, excuse the mess, but I had just gotten home. But it was all good. He explained what was going on. I was like, I
agree. Listen, I think we all look at him that way. We're like, that's Mayor Cohen. Mayor Cohen looks at himself like, hey, I'm just one of the guys in and around town. Like, that's it.
Matter of fact,
he's like, I'm just hanging with you.
When the first time he came, that was us, and that was the first time he came. And I don't know if nobody recognized you, but I recognized you right away. I'm like, that's the mayor. Hi, how are you? Welcome to my house.
Well, I have been there before, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I said. That you've been there before, so...
Well, we all know now that the real reason why Mayor Cohen came to your house to have you on the podcast is because of your elaborate Halloween display that you do every single year, and really the entire town just goes nuts for your stuff. They love it, and he is a huge fan of your display.
Yeah, and I guess we could start the questions. Where do you find all this stuff?
Right.
So a lot of it. First off. People that do decorations, specifically Halloween, we're called haunters. So there's thousands of groups you can join, and get ideas. And there are people that just buy things. Then there's people like me who buy things, and then we build things. And there's, once again, 1,000 places you can find out how to build specific things. But any of the big hardware stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, they've went to the top of their game and just started selling a lot of these props. A few years ago, the 12-foot skeleton got really big, like huge.
The 12-foot skeleton.
Yeah.
So as soon as that blew up, as soon as people started seeing those, and everyone jumped on the bandwagon and started decorating. But someone like me, who's has like 1,000 things, we've had it for years, so most of the places you get a lot of stuff online also, but I like to support the local stores. So I Home Depot, Lowe's.
But do you actually, what about making some of your own decorations? There's got to be some kind of creativity that goes on inside your brain and that the stores just don't have yet. So do you ever get that elaborate where you're actually making some of the decorations yourself?
Yes. So I am a graphic designer. I don't know if that's my artistic brain.
No, but, that is.
So when I looked at some of these props, I'm like, all right, it's just metal, like with clothes put on. So that's what I started doing. I started going... making designs of these props, the frames. And funny story is, so once I got the frame down and it was perfect the way I wanted it, I went to Home Depot, measured everything out, knew exactly what I was going to buy. So here are all these, construction workers, and there's me with a cart full of pipes. So the guy behind me, and there's like me in front, somebody in front of me, and about, 6 guys behind me. So the guy looks at me and he goes, "Plumbing project?" So I turn around and I go, I'm building zombies for my graveyard. So everyone just looked at me and went, okay, whatever. So yeah, that was a funny story. But yeah, that's basically it. I build a lot of the stuff, and a lot of it, whatever that year is that I want to do something different, I'll either try to make it myself or
So do you rotate things, or you always just keep adding?
Good question. So surprisingly, people that come to the house know where everything is and know what props I have out. Even when I rotate it, they'll say, "Oh, that was over there," or "That was." So now I'm like, "All right, now I got to pick up my game and like change it up." So yes, I do rotate it, and then I'll add some new things. Like last year, for instance, I don't know if you can see from this picture. Last year, for instance, I added I'm sorry.
Where do you keep all this stuff?
I'll come to that in a second. Okay, so last year I wanted a pirate theme. So if you can see from the picture, I mean, there's everything was pirate. So everything, most of the stuff was bought, and it went really well. Like everyone, and all the stuff moves. Like it's all, and people were like pointing out, like, look at the treasure chest. The treasure chest has like coins in it. And you know what I mean? Like everything that I do has detail. I don't miss anything. And that's what they like. They like to see new things. They like to see variety.
You're going to have to stop by this year.
For sure. I am so ashamed that, so I live in Marlborough, and I grew up here in East Brunswick, but I guess between the time that I moved out and when you started, so for instance, how long have you been doing this now?
So big like this, 5 years, but about 10 years.
Okay, right. So I have not come by, and I'm ashamed. I really do. When I saw this, when I heard about it, I'm like, oh my God, I've got to come see this. So now, without a doubt, I will be passing by this Halloween.
So this is Jurassic Park. I started buying the dinosaurs, and I buy them cheap because, I don't want to pay full price because it's just Jurassic Park. Not that anything wrong with it, but a lot of people like to see the dinosaurs. But I took a Jeep, like somebody was throwing out one of those motorized Jeeps, and I painted it. You can't tell from this picture, but when you come up close, it's a Jurassic Park. I have the decals and everything. I stuck it on there, and they're like, "Wow, this really looks like Jurassic Park."
Wow,
So
that's great.
Yeah. So
interesting.
And how long does it take you to like put all that thing, the whole display together?
Okay, so I do it in sections. I'll be cutting my grass, and people will be stopping by. When are you going to start? So now I have to start. I start mid-September. Last year I started first week of September.
Wow.
Because it takes that long to do. It starts with the graveyards, the tombstones. So as soon as I put the tombstones, people beeping their horns. Then I put like this fence, and I have a story about the fence really quick, I'll tell you. But then I put like this cemetery fence on. So we had a big tall oak about, 7 years ago maybe. And a big windstorm came and took the oak down, taking our fence down. So I'm getting ready to throw the fence out, or throw pieces of the fence out. And I looked at it and go, that could be a graveyard.
Right.
That could be part of the graveyard.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I put it up there, and that's what kind of really started the ball rolling on the bigger things.
Gotcha.
Like as soon as I put that fence up, I was like, all right, I can go a lot bigger now.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
What's it like knowing that people classify you as the Halloween guy?
Halloween guy.
Like that's who you are. Does it make you feel happy on the inside, or is it weird?
Listen, it does. It does. People have their 15 minutes of fame. Is this my 15 minutes of fame? If I can do a little bit to make people happy, then I do. And one of the stories, once again, I have stories. It was a few years ago. There was a family. We didn't know this at first, but there was a family visiting, and they would come every day, 2, 3 times a day. So finally I went out there and introduced myself, and they're like, oh, thank you. Well, it turned out that they were here from the Midwest, or I don't know what state they were from, the boy was getting cancer treatment. He was a young boy. Wow. So, I felt bad, and I was like, oh, anything you need. We gave him candy, but the only thing he wanted to do, I'm getting all emotional. The only thing he wanted to do was come to the spooky house. So here he is, like whatever treatment it was, a couple weeks or a month or whatever it was. Every day is all he wanted to do.
Wow, that's a great story.
So that's the story I tell people, that's what I do it for.
That's really great.
Yeah. So,
But there's probably tons of other people that maybe don't have quite that dramatic of a story, but they enjoy the fact that somebody's spending a little bit of time and putting that much attention, and it's not a distraction, but it's certainly a lot of fun.
So just this doesn't do it justice, but you could just see like. There was one picture I took.
So you let people walk all around to see your displays.
So in the beginning, I did not, because not that I didn't want people walking, but it's like I don't want people touching things.
Sure.
And they do, unfortunately. But I just I come out there and I said, just be careful with everything. So once the first few people started walking around, I'm like, all right, I got to have them walk around because they do want to see it, because the yard is the way I have it. It's shaped like an L.
Right, and it's so decorated, like you can't just see everything in a car passing by.
Exactly, and that's what people say. We didn't know if we. So now I have signs. You can walk around. Just be careful.
Mm-hmm,
You know. So yeah, excuse me.
Are people walking around like at midnight around? I mean, that's got to be freaky.
Yes. So I shut the lights out at between 10 and 11.
Gotcha.
You know,
Oh, people, I've seen
township
cars,
ordinance.
people-
Township ordinance, 10 o'clock.
He's got the mayor here. That's
certainly don't want me
great.
showing up there with a citation, but
That's funny.
but I see cars sometimes just stopping along and parking wherever they could find a spot, walk across the street, which we want them to be careful because it is nighttime.
Right.
It is. And that's always my biggest fear.
Sure.
You know, I try to.
And I understand that.
And everyone, you know what, that's my biggest fear, but everyone behaves. So nobody cuts anybody off.
Right.
The 5 years I've been doing this full time, we've never had an incident before. So, you know, that's always going to be my fear. That,
Sure.
You know,
And that's what makes you, do it bigger and better next year because, the year before that, everything was great. Everybody loved it. So many smiles on people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
People are stopping to take pictures. So the following year, you go even bigger and get even greater.
So I know he had asked it earlier.
Yeah.
Where do you put all this stuff when you're not?
Yeah, seriously.
Excuse me.
You
So
can't
we
put that
have,
in an attic.
We do, actually. We have an attic and a shed, and then we have a family member around the corner that lets us use this.
Right, you got to use the family member's house as well. You're using their attics.
Exactly. And, listen, I'll be honest, and I support, I try to support any business, but the storage units are just way too expensive.
Right.
And for me to store it there is just
All year round.
all year round.
Now, what about as a kid growing up? Did you grow up in a house that took into Halloween? Was it a big deal? Was it a Christmas house? What kind of a holiday house was it for you?
Wasn't so much Halloween. I think Halloween was more me. Growing up in the 70s, it was different than now. You could stay out till midnight. People still opening up the doors. Now it's a little bit different. I mean, I still get people at midnight coming to my door, but it was a different vibe back then. And for me, it was like that one time a year when you get to be somebody else. You get to be, you have another personality. Mm-hmm. So I always loved Halloween. So when I got to a point where I can do it. I can do it the way I want to do it.
Right.
I did, and I do. And if it makes other people happy, then
You're right, though. The 70s was different. I used to go out with my mother gave us a pillowcase.
Yeah, that's right. Pillowcase,
and
fill
you
it
just
up.
Went from house to house to house with your
Yep.
friends. You didn't have to worry that your parents would take you places. You just walked the
You're
neighborhood.
absolutely correct.
And there were no cell phones, so you couldn't let them know where you were. You couldn't GPS track me.
Right.
But
Different
that's what we did.
times, different times, man. Wow.
And the costumes nowadays have gotten a lot more elaborate, but back there you just wear this cheesy little mask, and that was it. Nobody questioned you, nobody did anything. And
Now, do you consider yourself? Are you you're a fan? You're obviously a fan of Halloween, but are you an expert of Halloween?
I'm pretty good with the movies.
Yeah.
Some of the newer movies, they're just they're all pretty much the same. So yeah, when it goes back to the older movies we grew up with.
Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite horror
by
flick?
far, the favorite is The Exorcist.
The Exorcist?
It's the only movie,
that's a good one.
It's the only movie that still scares me, and I'll be honest with you, I know I have it here somewhere.
That's rare today because they've made the special effects so much
Yeah,
better now that
you're
when I
right.
look back at some of the old movies, I
You almost laugh at
got
it.
scared at that.
Right. Good point.
Remember Psycho?
So
I do remember that. Of
So The
course.
Exorcist still scares me, and they came out a few years ago with Reagan, Linda Blair, and that's the prop that I need a little bit of courage to go up in the attic to get, because it's and her head spins and she talks
my
just
God.
like so.
Oh, really?
So when I'm shutting everything off, it would be 11:30 at night, and Reagan is still going off. It still scares me. So yes, I would have to say it is my favorite, but still the scariest.
Wow.
I know we have to figure out something to really scare him.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Turns it off and the head keeps going
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right, a guy that does this doesn't get scared at much of anything these days. All right, well, listen, Frank, we are going to take a break, and when we get back, we're going to play a little Halloween game with you, if you don't mind.
Sure,
all right?
not at all.
All right, guys, this is in and around East Brunswick, and we will be right back with more from Frank and the mayor and myself. This is the ice rink, right? We were here. There wasn't even any walls.
Masonry exterior walls get treatments outside to make it aesthetically pleasing. It's going to look really sharp. We'll have the EB logo and East Brunswick Ice Arena on the outside. Platform with railings, a viewing area for the ice on both sides. Currently, the roof is going on top of us, which is a seminal moment for us to get this building weather tight inside. All glass pane to view the ice. TVs, couches and stuff.
AB Arts Coalition is throwing a far-out 70s disco-themed interactive murder mystery. Everyone is encouraged to get in on the action and solve the crime. Murder on the Dance Floor Disco Ball, Saturday, May 31st, 6:30 to 11 p.m. at the East Brunswick Community Arts Center. Enjoy some cocktails sponsored by Tito's Vodka and Jersey Fine Wines while sampling hors d'oeuvres by our very own celebrity chef Maricel of Maricel's Kitchen. We've got great prizes for the mystery winner and best dressed guests, and plenty of raffles. DJ Marvel is back. Groove to some tunes and boogie the night away on the dance floor. Think sequins, bell-bottoms, platform shoes, and all the groovy threads you can dig. We brought you the Masquerade Ball, the Queen's Ball, and this year, join us for Murder on the Dance Floor, all to fundraise to support arts and culture at the East Brunswick Community Arts Center. For more information, check out ebarts.org.
Mayor Cohen, I think we should probably say, and we're back. It is our spooky episode. Every single Tuesday, live from the East Brunswick Public Library. Mayor Cohen and myself, Greg T. We do the buzz about East Brunswick. If you want to drop us an email, you can. It's BAEB@buzzaboutab.com. If you're watching us on YouTube at EBTV26, well, thank you very much. And of course, you can always listen to us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, and Amazon. The buzz about East Brunswick, and what is everybody buzzing about? Of course, they are buzzing about Frank Amorelli's great Halloween exhibit that he puts out at his house every single year. So, Frank, thanks again for hanging with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so, Frank, since you are the end-all, be-all of Halloween, I mean, you know a lot about Halloween. You're a Halloween expert. And, you know, during our last commercial break, you were actually telling us that you were inducted into a group, a very exquisite group of Halloween
Yeah, so we're the
haunters.
We're called haunters, and there's specific groups in New Jersey all over. But and I'm sorry, it's the name is not. I'm not remembering the name, but they actually come to the house, they review your thing, and then your display, and if they like it, they put the sign up and you're in. And 2 years ago they did, and I was very happy about that. It was a proud moment.
He's an official maven of Halloween.
Oh, I like that. You are the maven of
like
Halloween.
I like that.
A raven, but
Yeah.
just the maven.
Maven.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. All right. Well, here we go. So to you, Mr. Mayor, and of course, Frank, I have a couple of this or that's, and I want you guys to tell me why it's this or that. For instance, creepy kids in movies or creepy dolls in movies. Frank?
Reagan from The Exorcist.
So you'd rather see creepy kids in movies
Yes.
than the creepy dolls?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I think I'd rather that.
The
Rather
creepy
have
kids.
The creepy kids. Real is just too spooky.
Yeah. Watching movies with the lights on or haunted movies with the lights off, Mr. Mayor?
Off. Come
Off.
on.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Definitely off.
Yeah, for sure, right? You can't sit there and watch Psycho with the lights on. It's not the same. No way.
No.
How about, okay, you ready, Frank? Nightmare on Elm Street or Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Texas Chainsaw
Yes,
Massacre?
because that gave me nightmares.
Mr. Mayor.
I think the same.
Yeah?
That's spooky.
See, now I would go the opposite way. I would do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nightmare on Elm Street was good, but because Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I believe, was almost like a real.
I think it was based on
It was based on a true story. So that to me, freaked me out even more so. So I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But you know what? I'll leave it to you guys. You guys are the Halloween experts. How about The Exorcist? Well, I know where you're going to go with this one because that's your favorite. You already told us. But The Exorcist from 1973 or The Shining from 1980?
Oh, that is a tough
that's
one.
a good one.
I'm
Right?
still going to go with The Exorcist, though.
Still going Exorcist.
Yep.
And Mr. Mayor?
I think The Shining.
I like The Shining as well. That's where I'm at.
So, the funniest thing, I was over walking through Bicentennial Park this weekend, and I see a bunch of guys that are playing basketball. And they have their little music box there playing rap music. music.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know a lot of rap music, but
Yeah.
whatever the music was, the lyrics was red rum. And all I kept thinking is, I don't think that any one of these kids has any idea
Right, where that's from. Oh, red rum, red rum. Oh, I'll never forget that, red rum. Maybe you could put that out there for your Halloween decorations, a red rum scene, red rum, red rum. What about, okay, now, this makes sense. Chased in a horror movie or trapped in a haunted house? Frank?
That's a tough one.
Mr. Mayor? Trapped in a haunted house or chased in a horror movie?
I think trapped in the house.
Trapped in the house.
Yeah.
I agree. When you cannot get out, although sometimes some of those chasing scenes are pretty good, but they're always trapped.
The classic chase scene was filmed right here in New Jersey.
Where? Tell me which ones.
Blair Witch Project. It was
I forgot about that. That's right. I forgot that Blair Witch was filmed here. Well, good. Thank you very much.
How
Mr.
about
Mayor.
that?
They
I
have
like
these
it.
they have these haunted house tours, not tours, but where you can actually sleep in an official haunted house.
Have you ever gone to that?
No, that's like one of the things on my bucket list, but not. It's like at the bottom of the bucket list. That's like the one I don't know if I want to do it, but I'm curious to do it.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Frank, where do you go for good Halloween exhibits during the Halloween time? I know that, we have you here because it's your house that makes everybody here in East Brunswick, know it's Halloween time. But where do you go? Do you go somewhere else and visit?
So a lot of the like Fields of Terror, I think they're called, or any of those places are good. Although I go in there looking not to get scared. What can I do?
Good ideas.
Good ideas. Or I would have done that different. So I go. Yes, I get scared. The whole jump thing is it's good. But I go there with a different look than other people do.
So is there a certain place that you definitely have to go to every
no,
year?
because to be honest, every weekend I'm at my house, so I really can't.
You can't even leave.
I can't even leave, exactly. So if I go like on a Thursday night or something like that, it's it's not the
That's
same.
all right.
But
He's real into making sure he scares the bedoodles out of everybody that lives here.
There is, I drive over an hour and a half. I go to this place called the 13th Hour every single Halloween, and it's out in Wharton, New Jersey. It's really, really far, and he does a great job. Very elaborate, like yourself. But he now has taken his exhibit from his front lawn. He now rents like an old, I don't know what you call it, like a warehouse, and he actually puts his whole thing in a warehouse now. And you walk through a warehouse. He raises money for charity and whatnot, but that's something for you to check out. 13th Hour Haunted House in Wharton, New Jersey. New Jersey. That's far out there. All right, here we go. Candy corn or chocolate bars?
there is no candy corn; it doesn't exist.
Really?
Chocolate bars. All the way.
You're not a candy corn guy.
I'm not a candy corn guy.
Well, now let's go to the doctor.
Yeah, well, the doctor.
Well, because you're a doctor.
Frankly, neither are good for you. But
But if you had to
I would do
choose-
the chocolate bar any day of the week.
I agree. I am not a candy corn person. I don't like it. I
They
don't
look
enjoy
nice.
It.
They make nice decorations,
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't want to eat it.
I agree. It's something about the colors that says, okay, it's Halloween season, but I don't want to eat it. Like, I'm not a fan of the candy corn at all.
Right,
No.
right.
All right. Let's go with classic monsters. Dracula and Frankenstein, or Mike Myers and Freddy Krueger.
All right, so I'm a classic guy. So
You're
yes,
classic.
I'm going with the classics: Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula.
See,
yeah.
I thought you would have went with Mike Myers or Freddy Krueger.
No, they're good decorations. They're good for scare, but I'm a classic.
Very good classics.
I'm a classic.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor?
the classics.
Classics.
Come on, we're figments of our generation. Classics.
Right. All right. How about now? I got this one. How about cobwebs or smoke machines for the decorations?
Yeah, I'm going with cobwebs.
Really?
Yeah, because the cobwebs creep people out when they get, like, I have cobwebs all over, and when they get stuck in it, not stuck in it, but when they walk through it, they want to get it off them. They're
I am shocked. I love your answer. I thought for sure you would have said smoke machine, 100%.
and to be honest, my opinion, the smoke machines, they take away from the decorations. If they're low lying and you can do them low lying, it works good. But if it just goes off and it's all over the place, the people, they can't see anything. And,
Right.
so that's
Good point.
That is a good point. I was
didn't think
actually
about
going to
that.
say the fogs, but because
Yeah.
you don't know where you're going and
Right.
you lose your sense of where you are.
Right.
And but you're right. People get creeped when things touch their body.
Yeah, I, you know what? You really taught me something, and that's the reason why you're an expert designer, because you know those things. And I, for one, I just took it for granted. I'm like, oh, he's gonna say smoke machine for sure. So but I loved your answer about why you're choosing cobwebs. I think it makes sense. All right, here we go. Carved pumpkins or paint on pumpkins?
Okay, I'm a carved guy.
Okay.
I'm not very good at it, but these guys that they carve pumpkins, they're talent. I mean, these guys are amazing, and I just wish I could do a little bit like them.
Right.
But definitely carved pumpkin, because I like the pumpkin seeds, and
because painting is really becoming a big deal now these days. A lot of people like to paint faces on pumpkins and whatnot. What about you, Mr.
Well, I
Mayor?
like the carved one also, but I'll tell you, every year the school has one of the elementary schools usually has a contest,
Right.
And people bring in their pumpkins, which 3/4 of the time I think the parents do it. But
Yeah, of course. Right? They always, yeah.
this is Junior's project. No way he did that.
Right.
it's like a Mona Lisa, and they're like, the kid did that. I'm like,
That's a good point. Very good point.
But they're really, we have a lot of talented people here, and they come up
Yeah.
with some really unique ideas. So
Yeah.
it's great.
All right, now, last and final one. Would you rather, Frank, do you want to do the scaring, or do you actually want to get scared? What would you like?
do the scaring.
Do the
I just
scaring.
love to see people jump.
See the reactions.
and they do.
Mr. Mayor, do you rather be scared?
No, I'm the audience. I want to be scared.
You want to be scared?
Yeah, I don't want to know when it's coming, but I know that it will be.
Okay. See, I don't like to jump. I'd rather do the scaring. I'd rather be like the guy that goes, rah, than the guy that goes, ah! I don't want to do the screeching. I can't do it. Now, do you have a couple of them yourself that you want to put on here on the list?
No, I was actually, some of them you got to. I didn't know you were going to say, but there's some really good places within the area that are well known. Blair Witch is down in the
I totally
Pine Barrens.
forgot about that.
And not very far, but Long Island is Amityville.
Oh, of course, the Amityville Horror House, where people still today, they go and they ring on these people's door. I feel bad for the people that live there. They have done whatever they can to change the look of the house. They've had redesigners. I know a lot about the house, and they've taken, like, there used to be like an eye, like I guess a window in the top. They took that out and everything to make it look like a regular house, but yet people realize they know what went on there, so they still go and knock on the door.
So going back to the be scared or scared. So I'm not going to tell you what I dress as, because that'll ruin it for anybody who comes.
Right.
But it was one year, and there were these high school kids. And like I said, I don't mind people going around and lightly touching things, but these high school kids were being a little rowdy. So I'm over there in the yard, and I said, all right, I got to get these guys. So I dress up as whatever I dress up as, and they're walking by, and turn the chainsaw on. I just get wet. Turn the chainsaw on, and you've never seen these kids jump so high in their life or run away. And
that's great.
So I got them back. But like I said, for the most part, everyone's really, really well.
Well, listen, from what the mayor has already described and why you're here, I think you probably have the best Halloween decorations in all of East Brunswick, and I can't wait to see it myself this year. I'm really super pumped and excited about it.
Good, thank you.
Well, listen, Frank, thanks so much for having. Thank you very much for being here. I got tongue tied there. And any last questions for him, Mr. Mayor?
I think we're good. Just curious.
Yeah.
So every year when you do this, does your electric bill go up from this?
Oh my God!
You know what?
Great question.
I'm on the budget plan, so I pay the same amount, and then at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, and it really hasn't, because a lot of the stuff is LEDs and very low voltage, so none of it really kind of goes up, and it's only on for a few hours. If you think about it, it's from dusk till like 10, 11 o'clock, so it really doesn't go up. So no, it really doesn't. Not that I've noticed. Not like a big.
People have asked me, because we have two electric vehicles,
right?
And we recharge at the house, and people want to know, for all the savings in the gas, are you spending it on electric?
Right.
Haven't really seen it with that either.
No, it's nothing where like, oh my God, I got to stop doing this.
Right.
But no.
I think people would be crushed if you stopped. From what I'm hearing, you cannot. Now that you have it, you can't stop. It has to be passed down to somebody else after you.
The hardest part is getting, like, once everything is out.
Yeah.
Not out meaning up, but just out, like from the attic or from where. The hardest part is going, because we keep it in the attic, so it's one of those folding ladders type stuff. That's the hardest part. And every year I say, this is it, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But I still go up there and I still do it.
That's funny. So does your wife enjoy doing this with you, tolerate it, or hate it?
No comment. No, she's a trooper.
Nice.
For those 2 months, we don't speak to each other. But,
All right. Well, listen, happy Halloween, Frank. Thank you very much for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This is awesome. All right, guys, this is our very last look in and around East Brunswick. And when we get back, we will just kind of summarize everything and tell you about what to expect next episode. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, East Brunswick, I'm Rob Zuckerman, Economic Development Officer. I'm here to tell you the East Brunswick Market is coming back. So mark your calendars, Sunday, June 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m., Friday, July 11th from 6 to 9 p.m., and Sunday, August 3rd from 1 to 4 p.m. The market will be held at the East Brunswick Municipal Complex, 1 Civic Center Drive, and again, there'll be 30-plus vendors, food trucks, live music, and family fun. And if you're interested in becoming a vendor, the applications are available now at eastbrunswicktownship.org. Just click on the Economic Development tab. Tell everyone you know the market is back. There's a lot going on in East Brunswick.
Are you registered on the Do Not Knock list here in East Brunswick? Are you on the registry?
Who is it?
We're with the solar company up the street.
I'm on the do not knock list. I'm on the do not knock list.
Just log on to the East Brunswick Township website at eastbrunswick.org. Scroll over to Departments and scroll over to Township Clerk. Scroll down to Do Not Knock Register Form. And when you're there, you'll notice the blue shaded area with all sorts of jargon explaining you have now reached the Do Not Knock Registry. Just fill out the form with your name and address, click Submit, and congratulations, you're now registered for the Do Not Knock list. All right, and again, so far so good. I think we had a great episode today. It really
That was fun.
It always feels weird to pat ourselves on the back, but I got to tell you, I think another great episode.
I think so. Now
And
we got to find somebody else that has something, again, unique, interesting, different.
That's right. That's exactly what we're doing. You know what?
And they're here.
What-
They're in town.
You know, let's reset that up, Mayor. What exactly are we looking for? Like today was Frank's Day. Frank, of course, he does the
Yeah.
greatest Halloween decorations here in East Brunswick. But obviously, we would like to know about more things that some of our residents are doing.
A unique hobby, a unique interest, a unique job, something that just distinguishes you, that you paid a lot of time, effort into doing, and you would like more people to know about it.
That's right. And if you listen again, if you don't email us, then the mayor was just going to show up to your house. He'll just knock on your door and just drag you here. I really do. I love the story of how you just went over to Frank's house, knocked
I
on
think
the door.
the next time I'll just have something.
I think it's
like
so
a
great.
Citation.
That would be terrific. Oh my God, fake citations. If we came over, I'm giving you a citation for this. Now, we should find out who does the greatest, holiday decorations, and we can have them on. Or, yeah, you're right, somebody that's a singer-songwriter, someone that's written a bunch of books or
there's
something.
some fascinating people that live here. There's people that have hobbies that are
They
just
collect
unique
things.
and different. Right, collections. All of that stuff is just unique.
Right.
And they obviously do this with a passion, which means that in general, if you shine a little spotlight on it, they would love more people to know about it. We just want to know who they are.
Yeah, no, you're right. And please email us at baeb@buzzabouteb.com. Please, that's the only way to get in touch with us. Just drop us that email. We will go through the emails and we will reach back out to you. And listen, speaking of Halloween and, some mystery that's going on, this weekend, starting on, on the 31st, we're going to have Murder on the Dance Floor, which is happening at the EB Community Arts Center. Do you know much about that?
Yeah, so our East Brunswick Arts Coalition helps raise money for more art programs throughout the township and for the expansion of the Arts Center, which is one of our goals. And each year, for the last couple of years, they've done a different theme event that's a fundraiser over at the Community Arts Center. Of course, putting a spotlight on the center.
Yeah.
And the first year, I think it was, last year it was called the Queen's Ball.
Okay.
So it was sort of this monarchy type of dress up as if it was somewhere in the 17 and 1800s, and you have people walking around in that type of
like one of those timepiece thing. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. This year, the theme is murder on the dance floor. So it's
Yeah.
a 70s style theme, dressed up as 70s stuff. But someone's going to be murdered.
Got it.
And you're going to have to figure out
So
who
now,
did it.
is everybody a part of it? Like so you're going there to kind of like, I guess, watch it, but I guess you're a part of it as
I
well.
think everybody becomes part of the figuring out what happened, almost like the old game. Was it the professor that did it with
Clue,
the axe?
Clue.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, that's so great.
Didn't you love that game?
I really did. I loved the game. I loved the movie back in the day. I always thought it was great. It was so fascinating to find out who did it in which room and how they did
with
it.
what
Yeah, with
instrument.
what instrument. Exactly. Yeah, that's cool. So, all right. So that's what's going on. So it's Murder on the Dance Floor, and it's happening on May 31st at 6:30 p.m. at the East Brunswick Community Arts Center. So check that out. And also, what's big this week, on Friday, it's the 50th anniversary for the Department on Aging.
Yes. They've been in their building. They've been in that facility now for 50 years, so
Right.
half a century. And the program's grown dramatically since it started. And they're just really thrilled to be able to have a nice time to celebrate that milestone. So I think people should come out and listen to what they're doing, talk
Yeah.
about the programs that they do. And I think one of the things Danielle, who's the director,
Yeah.
mentioned to me a while ago is that we want to move away from the idea of calling it the senior center.
Right.
Makes it sound like it's this old place. And if you've ever been to any of the programs and things that they run regularly,
Yeah.
you would have a hard time keeping up with a lot.
Right. There's a lot going on over there. Yeah, for
They
sure.
really are. And the programs are plentiful. They've got a ton of people that go there regularly, and it's grown. And a lot of things that they offer in terms of services to the residents that are participating. So I think they've moved away. I would actually almost hope that we could have a contest just coming up with a different name for it.
That's cool.
But they're really a great group of people who have invested heavily in making sure that our seniors have a ton of things to do. Anytime they run the Christmas thing over at the chateau that they have, sold out.
Yep.
Exercise classes, full.
I actually stopped by their St. Patrick's Day party, and I was pretty surprised at how much fun they were having over there.
Full.
Yeah.
There usually is not spots left on many of the programs that they do. If I go over and have a guest lecture, or just discussion with town halls over, it's always full.
Great.
And asking really good questions. So I think there's this often a philosophy that, the seniors don't really care about the community. They don't care what's going on in the schools. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds really, listen, it sounds like a very eventful weekend. Plus, again, Crystal Springs will be open again this weekend, which is going to be awesome. So there's really a lot going on in East Brunswick. So listen, I think that on behalf of today's episode, we did a great job. Nice job, man. Nice job, Mr. Mayor.
That.
Nice job, Mr. Mayor. All right, guys, that is on behalf of Mayor Cohen, myself, Greg T., and we do thank you very much for watching and for listening to our podcast on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Music, and Amazon. And again, drop us an email at baeb@buzzabouteb.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube at EBTV26, we thank each and every one of you. Hopefully next week my voice will be better, but we will be back again for next episode. So thank you very much for watching. We are the Buzz About East Brunswick.
Thanks, everyone.